Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the Life Sculptors podcast. I'm your host, Dante Poole, and it is great to be back with you. So much is happening and going on, and I am just thrilled about the direction that things are headed. March 25th is the release launch date of the new book, Developing a Durable Mind. And so you'll be able to get that on Amazon and other places. And so I'm excited about that. And so I'll be sending out information on all my social media and on here to help you know how to obtain your copy of the book. It is a great investment for you. So I'm here today to have another conversation or continue the conversation, should we say, as we read books and have conversations. I have an interesting read this time that is not necessarily a children's book. As a matter of fact, the author says it this way. He says it's a picture book, but not a children's book. And the author is Trevor Noah. And he's written a book called Into the Uncut Grass. And I cannot wait. There's so many insights and things that happen throughout this read. I'm going to break it down into a 3-part series of conversations about learning life's lessons. And so let's get into part 1 of the book. It's called, again, Into the Uncut Grass. "Wake up, Walter," the boy said, his voice quivering with excitement. "It's time to start the day." Walter, the old bear, loved dreaming beneath the warm blankets of the boy's bed. What Walter did not love was being rushed out of sleep, especially when he was dreaming, as one does, about waffles. Slowly he opened his eyes. "The day should start when I wake up," Walter said, through a yawn. "I should not have to wake up to start the day." "Save your riddles for later," the boy said, his eyes dancing. "We've got to go outside. You do know what today is, don't you?" "Well, clearly it's not the day when I get to finish my dream," the bear said, turning back to his pillow for a last sweet second of sleep. "You're right," said the boy. "It's even better than that. Today's the day we get to make our dreams come true." Walter tried to close his eyes even tighter. "It's Saturday," the boy shouted. In one fell swoop, he flipped Walter out of the blankets, whipped open the curtains, and flung open the bedroom window so that he could project his voice into the world outside like a king issuing decrees to his loyal subjects. "Today we will climb to the very top of a tall tree and finally catch a cloud. Then we must finish digging our hole to the middle of the earth so we can see if the giant gumball is real," he proclaimed. "And this day," the boy continued, gesturing boldly to the empty yard outside his window, "this is the day when we will finally defeat the leaf monster. So, let's go!" Walter tumbled from the bed and landed softly on his feet. He rubbed his eyes a bit sadly, and the boy hadn't forgotten something. Or the boy, rather, had forgotten something, and it was the old bear's job to remind him of the things he'd rather forget. "Before we go outside," Walter said, "we need to finish inside. You know the rules as well as I do." Walter cleared his throat. "Brush your teeth so our breath smells clean. Wash our face in case we're seen. Comb our hair to keep the lice away, and make our bed so we can start the day." His eyes softened as he watched the boy's face slide into a frown. "I don't know how you keep forgetting it. Your mother even made it a rhyme." The boy was not amused. To him, this wasn't a cute poem for remembering. It was the tyrannical edict of an iron-fisted emperor. "Not this again," he grumbled. "Every day I have to do exactly what my mother says, even if I don't want to. Who says she knows best?" "Well," the bear said, "she's gotten us this far." The boy was not convinced. "And what does she know about being a kid?" Actually, I think all grown-ups start as children. That's why they're grown up from, Walter replied. I don't know about that. I've known my mother my whole life, and she's always been a grown up. Before the bear could fully process that, the boy continued, and it just makes no sense. Saturdays aren't for chores, they're for adventure. That's why there's no school on Saturdays. Even the teachers understand that. The boy's head was now buzzing with a different kind of energy. He leapt onto the unmade bed. Why should I brush my teeth? I just did it last night, and I don't care to wash my face. I'm not going to look at it. My hair is already on my head, so this is where it's supposed to be. And most of all, the boy said, jumping back to the floor, I don't want to make my bed, and the bed doesn't want to be made. That's why it keeps unmaking itself. It wants to breathe. It wants to be free, just like us. Yes, replied the bear, and we can be free. We just have to follow the rules of the house. Or, the boy said, we can just leave this house of rules. Walter's new plan. Today, we will run away. Before Walter could respond, the boy grabbed the old bear and made a mad dash out of the bedroom, running through the house like a gust of wind. As fast as his little legs could carry him down the stairs, through the kitchen, and over the threshold of the door that led to the backyard. He kept running through the yard, his little feet barely touching the ground as he strained with all his might to escape the chores that threatened to ruin his perfect day. Finally, he stopped to catch his breath. He carefully lowered the bear back onto his feet. I won't let it happen, Walter, the boy said. I won't let rules spoil our perfect day. Walter knew that he needed to remind the boy of something. We can't just run away, he explained. Your mother will miss you. And where will you sleep? And who will make us waffles? We'll build our own house, the boy said, and we'll grow our own waffles. I don't think that's how you get waffles. And our beds will breathe the same air we do, the air of freedom. But sooner or later, your mother will find us, Walter said, looking back at the house. She always does. The boy's eyes lit up again. He had an idea. Then this time, we need to go where we've never gone before, he said. Into the uncut grass. Oh my gosh. Oh, this boy and Walter. Oh my goodness. Have you ever heard the phrase, how you start a thing matters? Yeah, I've heard it. Yes, I've heard it before. And it's usually about, having you think about how to get started with something, right? That you start it well, it'll go well. Sometimes me and my wife are like the boy and his bear Walter. I am indeed a morning person. Like, as soon as my eyes open and I see daylight, I am ready to get started. I'm singing, I'm talking loud, I'm full of excitement for the day. Like, I want to fling open the curtains and turn up the music and dance around the room. I meet every day with fresh energy, anticipating a great adventure. Not so much for my wife. She's more like Walter. She wants to ease into the day, right? Her mornings require a slow fade, with the covers over her head and the room dark and silent at first. See, Walter's sentiment in the book is so much more like my wife's attitude. He says, the day should start when I wake up. And I should not have to wake up to start the day. My wife would say it like this. I need at least 2 cups of coffee before we engage so that nobody gets hurt. How we start the day is very different. But neither of us is wrong. And neither of us is right. I think the way we are wired just is. just is. And somehow we have developed the expectations that we should show up in life a certain way. That someone is determined, like, if you show up in life this way, then this is the right way. And they are so limiting these expectations. And we like to categorize things, right? Because if we can categorize things, it makes us feel like we're more in control than we really are. So we put things in categories and say, this is right, this is wrong. You should do it this way. You shouldn't do it that way. Isn't it interesting that we try to control others, even though we aren't that great at controlling ourselves? See, we want others to do what we don't have the capacity or the skill or even sometimes the willingness to do for ourselves. Can I just tell you, it's unfair and unreasonable of us to expect what we will not give. Yeah, we gotta let that set for a moment. Oh, I love this little boy's energy, though, right? He is ready to get outside. When I was a little boy, I could not wait to get outside. Outside is where the great life's adventures were happening. There was no reason to be in the house, because if you were in the house, then your mama was going to make you do chores. And I was just not interested. Not interested at all. But outside, getting outside, over the last year, this phrase that has been trending on social media says, "We outside." It's a catchphrase, and it refers to being outside, to be staying active and making moves, right? Rather than sitting in the house and doing nothing. We outside. See, the boy was telling his rule-following furry bear friend that we will not be held hostage to the rules and expectations of inside, because we are going outside. Oh, man, I love Walter, though, because Walter is the voice of reason. Walter is this boy's voice of reason. He reminds him that being outside doesn't mean ignoring what needs to happen inside. He says, before we can go outside, we need to finish inside. What are we learning from this moment? We're learning that outside is where we're chasing our dreams, right? And you can take care of inside things too. What are the inside things? Inside things are the things of your heart, things in your mind, things in your soul. Like, we need to take care of what's inside because it clears the clutter so that we can stand outside and be outside doing the things that we need to do. It's clearing, it's dealing with the inside that allows us to show up outside as our best selves. Author Emily Nagoski says this: we thrive when we have a positive goal to move towards, not just a negative state we're trying to move away from. So then when we're just trying to get away from something, then we spend our energy looking back all the time to see if that thing is still coming, if we're far enough away from that thing. We are just surviving. Because we're trying to get away from some stuff that we haven't dealt with. But if we take care of inside, then I am pointing my resources towards what is outside. My goals, my dreams, my hopes. See, the inside stuff is really the motivation for the outside stuff. And what do I mean when I say resources? I was doing a conference recently and we're talking to the participants about resources and how we ought to use our resources and manage them in such a way that we point them toward what matters most. And resources are our time, our energy, our attention, and our intellect, right? Yeah, there are material resources. There's money, and but I'm telling you, your time, your attention, your intellect, right? Oh man, all of those things they are commodities that you use and resources that you use to accomplish the things in your life. And so if you don't take care of inside, then you mismanage those resources. They get applied and appointed to areas that are sucking the energy from your life instead of giving you energy to live. The inside stuff affects the way you show up outside. And this is what Walter was trying to tell the boys. Like, listen, go outside. Go outside is great. But I'm telling you now, if you don't deal with what's inside, you're going to have to deal with your mama. And I'm trying to get you to, I'm trying to get you to not have to deal with your mama like that. Because she coming. She coming. The inside stuff is coming, whether we deal with it or not. It's coming. And so we got to make a choice about what we're going to do about this. And making this choice has to do with maturity. See, maturity, it means doing the things that we don't want to do, but are necessary so that we can do the things we want to do. See, it's moments and seasons of immaturity that that we allow what we don't want to do, but need to do to determine what we do. What am I saying? I'm just saying, like, when I'm in a season and in a moment of immaturity, when I'm being led by my emotions, then I let what I feel like doing and what I don't feel like doing to determine what needs to get done. Can I tell you something? Typically, what we don't want to do is the mundane. It feels boring. I just gotta get it done. It's like there's no entertainment, there's no adventure, there's no excitement in it. It's just I just gotta get it done, like washing the dishes or making the bed, right? But it's those mundane things that help us, right? And here's the truth: we can have the mundane and the exciting at the same time. We need both. We need both. See, discipline is about choosing to do that which is necessary, even though it may not be exciting or pleasurable or what I want to do. This is the choice of the mature. But yes, see, it's the immature that thinks that no one else understands what I've been through and no one else gets me. And that those who require me to take care of the inside things, they just don't get it. I mean, how often have you seen a little child says, you don't understand? Or maybe you got some adult friends in your life who live like this. You just don't understand. Oh, man. Yeah, I love this dialogue that happens between Walter and the boy, where the boy is like, listen, my mom, she doesn't get it. And Walter was like, she's been a kid before. The boy was like, all my life, she has been a grown-up. I was like, whoa. You know what happens? If we don't pay attention, we will misperceive someone's story because we make their story like our story. Of course, all his life she has been a grown-up because she's his parent. But Walter reminds him, the reason why we call them grown-ups is because they've grown up from something. What did they grow up from? Being a kid. See, people, we see them and we see them in the place of maturity or the place of success, and we go, they just don't understand. because we don't think that they ever been through anything. They haven't had the experiences of being where we are. And I'm just trying to tell you that there's no human experience that's just unique to one individual. I promise you that there isn't anything that anyone has been through that somebody else hasn't been through. It's just not realistic. It's just not realistic. So there's always somebody who's been through what you've been through. And that is not even the point. What really is the point is that when I make myself the center of everything, I want things the way I want them. And I'm not willing to open myself up to what might be the possibilities of someone else's perspective. I misperceive someone's help as someone trying to limit me. Okay, okay. And then what I do, like Walter, like the boy, should I say, he makes a decision. You know what? I don't have to deal with this. I can just run away. Oh, and there's different ways we run away. Walter and the bear, the bear, Walter and the boy, he grabs the bear. They run out of the house, right? And they run across the yard. But they're still in the yard. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah, he was trying to run away, but he still ended up still right there at the house. But but we try to run away from things. And sometimes running away looks like pushing people away, cutting people off. We stop showing up to things. We stop participating in things that probably are good for us, but we stop doing them because, again, nobody understands. We're trying to get away. Remember what we talked about earlier in that quote, right? That we don't thrive if we are just trying to get away from something. We thrive when we are working towards a goal. And that goal doesn't ignore what has happened. That goal says, in spite of what's happened, because of what's happened, I'm moving forward. What the boy was after was freedom. He wanted to be free to go on his adventure. And can I tell you, freedom is not a bad thing. But if you don't deal with your inside stuff, then what happens is you will run away, but you'll end up back in the same situation with different people probably, but the same situation. So if you find in your life that you keep ending up in the same thing over and over again, it's probably not the people and the stuff. Yeah. See, the problem is that you are being limited by who is in your skin. Yep, this is not on everybody else. This is on you. There's a lesson that you're supposed to learn from life that you keep running away from. And because you keep running away from it, you keep running into it because the lesson isn't about everybody else. It's about you. So here's what I want to tell you. I want to keep this one simple, okay? You ready? Don't get so caught up in pursuing outside that you neglect inside. Inside is way too important to ignore because it's from the place of inside that you can develop into a genuine, mature person that's not just about getting what you want, but someone who becomes a benefit to your community. And when I say your community, I'm just talking about the houses and neighbors around you. I'm talking about the people that you've been called to serve, to people you've been called to influence, the people who you've been called to impact. Your life matters for something more than your entertainment. Your life matters more than just for your entertainment. And so we've been conditioned by this world to believe that if we're just entertained, then life is great. And I'm trying to tell you, there are millions of unfulfilled people because they get caught scrolling and being entertained, and they're missing reality. Reality is happening all around them, and they are missing it because they're too busy trying to get away from life. Stop running from life. Because life is in you and you can't get away from it. Okay. All right. So in our next episode, right, I'm going to read some more of the book. The book actually has 4 parts to it. I'm going to read the first, the first. I've read the first part today. I'll read the second part, our next conversation, and after that, I'm going to combine 3 and 4 because they're not as long. But I'm just telling you, there's so much good in this. Our next episode, we're going to be dealing with and exploring what it means to be stubborn. Yes. Yes, because this boy, he's got lots of things to learn. And so we're going to see what he learns and what we can learn from him. There we go. All right. So until next time, do your inside work so you can enjoy being outside. And remember, you are exactly enough. I'm Dante Poole. If this is helping you, share it with other people, like, subscribe, do all the things. It's an amazing thing. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.